Hi, everybody. Happy Friday to you. How is everybody? I'm sorry I'm a little bit late today by like 2 minutes. Cannot apologize enough for that. I'm really, really sorry. But I'm here now. Thank you for being patient. I try not to be late with you guys. I really always try to be on time, but you know what? Sometimes stuff just happens. And this was one of those days. So I apologize for running a little bit behind, but that's okay. I'll make up for it. I promise. I promise. So how is everybody? Are you guys doing okay? You guys, it's a holiday weekend for a lot of people this weekend. So I hope that with our Feel Good Friday show, I can send you into this holiday weekend feeling inspired and creative and all of those wonderful things. So thank you for joining me this Friday. Thank you for letting me be a part of your jewelry making journey. It is Feel Good Friday, which is my very favorite day of the week. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Feel Good Friday, let me give you the quick little rundown. So, Feel Good Friday is all about easy, fun, instant gratification jewelry that you can very easily recreate by purchasing the kit. I put all of the things that you see in the show in kit form. You can grab those over in my Etsy shop, right? And I ship those out to you, and you can come back to this video later and recreate the jewelry that you see. So thank you in advance for all of your purchases. I appreciate it very much. That is what allows me to keep the lights on and to keep me giving you good content here, right? On Facebook or YouTube, wherever you happen to be joining me. So yeah, that's the name of the game. Easy, fun, instant gratification jewelry, right? We don't focus on technique on Fridays. We use Fridays for easy jewelry and to, kind of drive home the fact that beautiful jewelry does not have to be a representation of every single skill you've ever learned. That's a tough lesson to learn, especially if you're a beginner, right? Because you want to show off all of the things that you've learned. And sometimes that can make a mess. Sometimes you just got to like dial it back a little bit, right? So yeah, that's the name of the game for our Feel Good Friday shows. It's always easy jewelry. I'm always very upfront and open about that, right? I also start out my Feel Good Friday shows with maker mixes. Maker mixes are small batches of beady goodness, things that I don't have enough of to create an entire kit out of, but I still want to be able to share those things with you. And if you buy a maker mix from my Etsy shop and create a piece of jewelry, we want you to share that with us, right? Share that with the community. And if you do, you are automatically entered into a drawing. We draw a name once a month for someone to win a package of beady goodness from me. We don't judge your design. We just want to be inspired by you. So don't feel intimidated. Just post it, right? Nobody's judging. We just want to see your creativity. It is cold in this room and my nose is starting to run a little bit. I just felt that like, whoa, it's a little chilly in here. You're making my nose drip. So now that I said all those things, hi. I was running behind, so I was like feeling a little pressure to get all that information. But hello to all of you. Nicole is in the house. Colleen is here. Kathy's here. Everybody's here. My team drops links in the chat so that you can go directly to the pieces of jewelry that you're seeing and purchase those, right? Cindy's here. Hello, Cindy. Hi, Susie. Hi, Kim. It's so good to see all of you. Anita's here. I just it just makes me so happy to see all of you. I appreciate it so much that you let me be a part of your Fridays, really. A couple of other things to let you guys know about. So don't forget Danielle's here. Hello, Danielle. I love you. So just so nobody forgets, Master Maker happens on Friday afternoons at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So please don't forget about Master Maker. It is really important to me that you come and join the Master Maker. Just even if you don't buy anything, like I don't want to pressure you to feel like you need to buy anything, but please come because your support means absolutely everything to me. Come and check out Master Maker. That's over on JTV Extra. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's always on Fridays. That's my brand new show. And I will have jewel school items for you, right? That are obviously for sale. I'm going to talk about those. And, I do the sale pitch because it is a selling show. However, I make pieces of jewelry. So even if you don't buy anything, please feel free to stick around for the inspiration because really what Master Maker is all about is making jewelry. It just so happens that all the things that I use, you can purchase through JTV. However, it's really about thinking outside the box. So I talk about all of the really cool components that are available through JTV. So clasps, focals, specialty findings, beads, those kinds of things. And then we take those items, or I take those items rather, and I show you different ways that you can include those into your jewelry making designs. So it currently is kind of hard to find, right? It's a hard thing to find. So if you're having trouble getting to Master Maker, here's what I'm going to suggest to you. Come to the community, come to the Facebook business page, or come to the Facebook group, right? Our Facebook group, the Sara Lovecraft Designs community. My team is posting the link directly to it. Or Nicole's dropped it right here in the chat. If you're on Facebook, she's dropped it. You can save that link for later. You can go ahead and click on it now and save it. And then that way you'll have it ready to go. Okay. I know that it's kind of a challenge. It's really, here's the thing. It's not necessarily that it is a challenge to get to it. It's just that there are several different ways to get to it. And I think that's what's tripping people up. You can either go directly through, the JTV Extra Facebook page. You can go to the jtv.com and click on JTV Extra and it comes up. Or you can just come here, like I said, and get a link from the team. Gail says she's not sure how to get there. Maybe share a link. We share links every week. Every, wow, words are hard. Every week we share the link. So yeah, Pamela says Master Maker kept kicking her out, asking questions. I was so upset. Not sure what that's about. What about YouTube viewers? YouTube viewers, you can get there the exact same way. You're going to have to either come over to Facebook and go to the JTV Extra Facebook page, or you're going to have to go to the jtv.com website and get to it from there. So yeah, I mean, it's really just two different ways to get there. I'm not entirely sure why it's super, super hard to find, but I will tell you that sometimes it doesn't get put on the lineup until the day before. And I think that's what's being kind of a challenge. So, all right. So that's coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon. Okay. Anything else I need to tell you guys? I can't think of anything, but I do want to talk about kits really quickly before we get started with this, because I get asked this question often, and I answer this question often. So I need you guys to listen. Some of you listen to what I'm saying. Some of you have no problems with this whatsoever. Some of you forget, and that's okay, right? That's okay. That's why I'm here. I'm gonna answer this question for you. Listen, if you send me a message over on Etsy, I probably don't see it, or I do not have I'm not able to get to all of them. I answer questions specifically related to orders, but this question, I'm not trying to be rude, but the answer to this question gets answered all the time. So just listen, okay? When you go to my Etsy store and you purchase a kit, right? When you purchase that kit, if you will look at the materials list, right? If you will hit the about this item before you buy it, okay? If you'll look at that, in the description of that item, it will tell you the date of this Feel Good Friday show. It says how to Facebook/YouTube Live, and then it says the date. Save that date, right? Save that date, because that's where you're going to get the instructions. So a week later, when your piece of your kit shows up, you can say, okay, that was the Feel Good Friday show of blah, blah, blah. And you can come back to either Facebook and watch it on the replay, or you can go to YouTube and watch it on the replay, right? If for some reason you don't save that, okay, that information is there for you. It's there for every single listing. If for some reason you forget and you don't write that down, that's okay, because in your Etsy shopping history, if you will go to your account and you will look at your purchases and you will click where you have bought that item from me, you can still see the information. It's still there. It's still there for you. So even if the item sells out, it's still in your purchase history. So you can go to your purchase history, click on that item, and then you can click on it again, and it'll bring it up, and it'll tell you the same the same information about that item, it's all right there. So it doesn't disappear. Okay. Just want you guys to know. So I get asked that question a lot, and I'm not trying to be rude if I skip over that question. I've got other questions that unfortunately kind of have to take priority over that one, but that one gets answered for you. I promise. I promise that information is there. Okay. All right. So now let's get to it. It is Feel Good Friday. Let's feel good. Let's feel good. Guys, I want to say one more thing before we get started, and that is the pictures of these items. It's been rainy and cloudy and gross all week. I had a terrible time getting pictures of the kits for this week. They look drab and dark. They're not. They're really beautiful and pretty. So don't go by the picture. Okay? Don't go by the picture. I promise these are much prettier. All right, I'm gonna turn you around. We're gonna get started with our maker mix. Okay, let's do it. All right, so our maker mix. Ooh, we need more light. Speaking of drab and dark, let's brighten things up a little bit here. Let's get our lights going. Move things around a little bit. I was in such a hurry to get in here because I was behind. Did not get a chance. I don't know what's up with that light. Still very shadowy over here. Okay, so we're gonna start out with our maker mix, right? Our maker mix for this week is called Hey Tiger. And y'all have to know that when I make those titles, sometimes I giggle to myself because I'm like, that is just the silliest thing ever. But this maker mix is called Hey Tiger. And I named it that specifically because it has these stripes in this beautiful check glass pendant. Guys, this check glass pendant was brought to you by Sam's Bead Shop. There's a little bit of Sam stuff in here. There's a little bit of Danielle stuff in here. There is a beautiful shell bead in here. There is some jasper in here, lots of check glass, some check glass melons, some check glass rounds. And like I said, there is jasper in here. Did I say that? I wanted to. I think I said shell instead. There is jasper in here as well as some carnelian pieces as well. So this is one of those kind of crazy mixes that like some of you are going to love this one and some of you are going to absolutely hate this one. That's okay. I realize it's kind of a strange color combo. It's red, blue, and orange, but the orange is on the red side. That's why the red works with it. So I really kind of encourage you to try this one just because it's such an interesting color combo. I'd love to see the pieces that y'all make with this one. So yeah, this one's called Hey Tiger. And it makes me giggle. I can't help myself. It does. It makes me giggle. All right. So that's the oh my goodness. That is the maker mix. I have so many M things. I've got master maker, maker mixes on Feel Good Friday. This is the maker mix for this week. Yeah, Florida Gator colors for sure. If you're a Florida person, you're going to love this one. All right, going to sit this over to the side and we're going to get started. Now, I've got some pieces of jewelry, guys, for today that we're going to have to do some step outs with because it just is going to take way too long to put these together. But I want to show you the finished piece of this one. We're actually going to refer back to this finished piece a couple of times. I'm going to do some step outs with this one. This is actually a restock of a design kit that we had several months ago, and it sold out. And I was lucky enough to gather all the materials to restock this one. I love this bracelet. So this is a really cool macrame bracelet, right? With these awesome flowers. And again, this is a restock. Y'all bought this the first time around. If you missed out, or maybe you need another one, now is your chance to get it again. I'm going to show you how to put this together, but we are going to absolutely do the abbreviated version of this, okay? Something that I also want to say is that this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flowers. You've got enough beads in your kit to make 7 flowers. So if you need this bracelet to be longer, you've got enough beads to do that. Okay. Just want everybody to know. All right, so let me show you the step outs for this because, again, we don't have time to make the entire bracelet, but I want to be sure that you understand how to do this, okay? So what we're going to start out with is we're going to start out with one of the pieces of the cord that is in your kit. Now, this is a different color blue. It's just because I've run out of the blue that's actually in the kits. This is just for demonstration purposes, okay? So what you're going to want to do to get started with this is you want to take the longest cord that's in your kit and you want to thread your jump ring onto it, and you want to bring that jump ring to the middle of that cord. And I'm sorry, it's not the longest piece of cord, it's the shortest piece. You've got 2 pieces of cord in your kit. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to put on the base beads. The base beads are going to be the center of your flowers, and then the single bead that's in between there. So we want the metallic, a single, a metallic, a single, a metallic, a single, and you want to put them in that order, right? So if you're going to do 6 flowers, you want to make sure you've got enough for 6. If you're going to do 7, you want to make sure you've got enough, right? But what you're going to do is you're going to take those 2 cords and you're going to put them together, and you're going to thread those base beads on to both cords. Okay. And they have a big enough hole, so they're going to go onto both. Right. So you're just going to go ahead and preload the centers of your flowers, and then those single beads, right? You're just going to preload those onto your cord. Okay. So now once you've done that, I'm going to use the tying station, but you don't have to use the tying station. Okay. You can tape this down with some painter's tape. You can use a clipboard. You can use whatever you've got that you're going to secure your work to, right? So with the tying station, I take this, I'm going to put it over the peg, and I'm going to secure the ends so that now I can use my longer cord to start my knotting, and I can just slide these up, right? Does that make sense? Okay, again, I'm just trying to save some time, but what I wanted you to see, this is how you're going to get the bracelet started. At this point, now you just want to secure your work to wherever you are working. Okay. All right. So sit this over here to the side because I've got another step out for you, because again, we don't have tons of time. So, all right, bringing this in. All this is, you guys, is square knots. You're going to do square knots, and you've got a long enough cord. Okay, you're going to use your longer cord to do your knotting. I'm going to show you that knot here in just a second, but you've got enough of the long cord to kind of adjust the length of your bracelet as well. Okay, so this one I started out with only 5 knots. However, if you need a little bit longer bracelet, increase your knots at the beginning and at the end of your bracelet. So maybe make it, you could go anywhere from 10 to, 5 to 10 is going to give you about 1 inch of knotting before you start the beading process. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you how to do this. So if you are unfamiliar with the square knot happens in 2 steps, right? The square knot happens by creating a P shape on the left, making the knot, and then a backwards P shape on the left and making a knot. So let me show you, okay? So you're going to start with your P shape on the right side. Your cord is going across the core, okay? You're going to take your left-handed cord crossing over that, and you're going to go behind and up through that P shape that you made on the right-handed side, and you're going to pull. That's step 1. The second step to your square knot happens the exact same way, just in the opposite direction. Okay, so backwards P shape. The cord goes over the core cords. Right-handed cord crosses over that one, goes behind and up through, and then you pull. That's what's going to make that square knot. So you've got to do both steps. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a spiral. Okay. Now you're going to do 5 or 10 of those, and then you're going to make a flower. Before we make a flower though, because this one in the pattern, we're ready for a single bead, we're going to go ahead and thread our single bead up, which is fine because it's going to show you. You're going to do the square knots with the beads exactly the same way. Okay. So make a flower, 3, a bead, 3, a flower. Does that make sense? So 3 knots and then a bead, 3 knots and then a flower, 3 knots and a bead, 3 knots and a flower. We're ready to add just the single bead, and then I'll show you how to make the flower. I'm trying not to confuse you here. Okay, but I want to give you all the steps that you need to create this. So you're going to do the exact same steps to make a square knot. You're just going to do it around the bead, right? So we're making the P shape. We slid a bead up. We're making the P shape on the right. Okay, left cord crosses over that, goes behind and up through. and you're going to pull. Okay. Now to set that, you still got to do the left side. So backwards P shape on the left. Okay. Right cord crosses over that and goes behind and up through. And that is going to set the knot. Okay. So you just knot it around that bead. All right. Now let's build a flower. Building the flower is essentially the exact same thing. We're just adding some beads to the outer cord that we're knotting with. So we slide up our metallic bead, and well, let's go ahead and do the 3 knots. I'm sorry. There's not enough room here. So you would do, since we did 1, we're going to do 2 more knots. Getting a little ahead of myself today. You do want to be sure that you do 3 knots in between so that nothing is crowding out. Okay. So there's the second one. We're going to do a third one. This one has no beads either. P shape. Left-handed cord behind, up through, pull. Okay. Left-handed P shape. Right cord crosses over, goes behind and up through, and then you pull. Okay. And you've got your knots. Now we're ready to build the flower. All right, so you're going to slide that metallic bead up, right? And that's going to be the center of your flower. But now you're going to add 3 beads to your outer strands. And for whatever reason, I didn't leave any beads out for myself to do that, which makes absolutely no sense. Where are the rest of my beads? That is really weird of me. There they are. I don't know why. I didn't think it was necessary to have beads, I guess. Okay. So on the right-handed cord, we're going to add 3 beads. These are going to serve as the flower petals, right? And we're going to knot exactly the same way. You're not going to change anything just because you've added beads to this. So drop those 3 beads down, pick up your left-handed cord, and you're going to pick up 3 beads for that one. And you want to just thread those on as well. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and drop those down. Now we're going to knot exactly the same way. Okay, P shape on the right side, going across the top of those core cords. Left-handed cord crosses over that, goes behind and up through. Now pull. Okay, and when you pull, you need to kind of zhuzh it just a little bit to put those petals on in the spot you want them to be. Okay. Now you're going to lock that in with the left-handed part of your knot. Okay. So backwards P shape on the left, right-handed cord crosses over that, goes behind and up through, and pull. That's going to lock your little flower shape in. Okay. Easy as that. So it's still just a square knot. Then you're going to do 2 more of these so that you've got, 3 knots in between. Again, just kind of spacing everything out. So there's the right side. Here's the left side. Pull. And then you're going to do another one. Right side and left side. And then you're going to pull. Okay. All right. So then you would just slide up another bead and knot around it. You're going to do that for the entire length of your bracelet. Okay. Super easy peasy with the square knots. You just, as long as you can get a square knot done, you're good to go with the beads. Don't change anything. Okay. Now, when you get to the end of your bracelet, and I'll show you, you're going to tie an overhanded knot. Okay. Just one overhanded knot. Then you're going to slide on your clasp. And since you've got 2 cords, actually you've got 4 cords at this point, I put it on 2. And because that hole is just not quite big enough for all 4 cords. So just slide it onto 2, pull it down next to your knot, and then just tie another overhanded knot. That's going to secure your clasp, right? Remember the jump ring, we put that on at the very beginning. So it's already ready, right? It's secure. This, you're just going to tie on. And then you've got some cord ends to deal with here. You can either cut these off and add some hypo cement to this knot, or you can use some of the extra beads in your kit to tie on some beads and you got some little dangles at the end. Okay. You can leave that part out if you want to, but that's it. That's going to be the way to put your bracelet together. Super easy. So you don't have to do anything crazy with the clasp, right? You're just going to literally tie 2 overhanded knots, and you can add glue to those. Even if you don't cut the ends off, you can add some glue to that just to secure it. And again, this one is a little on the short side because there's only 6 flowers, but you've got enough beads to make 7 flowers. That's a great way to adjust the length. But also you've got the ability, because you've got a nice long cord for knotting, where you can extend your bracelet on each end by just adding more knots. Okay, so this is really going to fit a lot of different sizes. So that is our first project, right? It's a good one. It's a good one. Now let's move on to another one that is very, very similar to this. And again, we're going to do step outs because we need to save some time here, right? All right, so the next bracelet that we have, you guys, and we may not be able to finish all of we're definitely not going to finish all of this, but this is also a macrame project. This one starts out a little bit different though, because this one is on bead stringing wire. We did a project, I think last Friday, I believe, with the bead stringing wire. So basically this bracelet is a macrame bracelet. It's just square knots, just like what we were doing with some of this black colored beelon. The beads for this is what makes this so stinking beautiful, are these gorgeous carved jade beads and these smaller new jade beads. Okay. So these are the beads that are included. But before we get to the beads, let's talk about how you're going to start this one. You've got a piece of bead stringing wire in your kit. You're going to take that bead stringing wire and you're going to attach that to your work surface, whether you are using the tying station or whether you just tape this down or using a clipboard. Stretch out your bead stringing wire, right? And go ahead and pre-thread your beads on. You've got a metal bead, a new jade bead, 3 carved jade beads, a smaller jade, and then another metal. Okay. And these are going to go in the center of your bracelet. Okay. Then you're going to use your cord and you're going to knot onto your bead stringing wire, right? This is your core, that bead stringing wire. This is going to allow us to be able to put real hardware on the end of this, right? The square knots are going to happen exactly like the square knots that I just showed you. Depending on the length of the bracelet that you need, if you need about a 7.5-inch bracelet, you're going to do 23 to 25 square knots with no beads. Okay, just straight up square knots, just like we were doing before in the previous project, right? You do your right side P shape, left cord goes across that, behind and up through, and you're going to pull. And then the left is exactly the same P shape, left or right side crosses over, behind, and pull. Okay. Now, when you get to the center with all of those knots, like I said, about 23 to 25, you're going to slide up your first bead. That first bead is just a metal bead, and we're going to do the square knots just like before, right? Making sure we do both steps. So the right side and pull, and then on the left side and pull. Okay, to lock that bead in, you're going to slide up one of the jade beads, the smaller jade beads. You're going to do the P shape on the right and cross over with the left, go behind and up through and pull. Now don't slide another bead up yet. You got to do the second half of that knot. Sometimes people forget that step. You got to do the second part of the knot. Okay, so backwards P shape, right? Right-handed cord across that, behind and up through. Don't forget that second step. That's what's going to lock that bead in place, right? Then you're going to slide up another bead. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing. And you're going to do that with all of the beads to center all of these. Okay. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You obviously can do some more knots between your beads and space them out however you want to. It is completely up to you once you get this kit home, right? do it however you want to. But the cool thing about this one is that this is a really cool unisex design. I really think that this one works for both men and women. And the cool part about this is that when we get the bracelet finished, we can put actual hardware on it. Now, we're not going to be able to finish the entire thing. I'm going to add the beads to it for you guys. And then I'm going to take it off and add hardware to one end, but we're not going to be able to get the whole thing done. So if you need to see the finished product, obviously you're going to want to take a look at the picture over on Etsy. But basically, once you get all of the beads locked in, you're going to do another 23 to 25 square knots, right? And so you've got this really cool, just knotted band with all of your beads. I've got 2 more beads to add. So I'm going to add this one. I'm going to add the metal one, and then I'm going to show you guys the hardware. Okay. And the hardware, since we're using bead stringing wire, is exactly the same as we would any stringing project, which makes this really super easy. So when we take this off of the work surface, whether you're using a tying station, whether you've got this taped down, or you're using a clipboard or what have you, you're going to be able to finish this off with a crimp and a wire guardian and all of the regular hardware. All right, so there we've added all of our beads. Now, do another knot here, and then I'm going to take this off of the tying station here. Do you guys hear that robot in the drawer? He is crazy today. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Now, I didn't finish, obviously, because we do have more kits to get to, so I don't have time to do another 23 knots here, but that's exactly what you would do, right? You're going to want to repeat all of these knots on this side. That's going to give you the bracelet, right? And that's going to put your beads in the center. Absolutely beautiful. My favorite carved jade beads are the ones that still have the green. Like, I love the black ones. They're great. But the ones where I can still see the green, those make me so happy. I don't really know why, but they do. That's why I picked these for the demo, because I love those the most. But anyway, so when you get this off of your work surface, what you're going to have is you're going to have a piece of bead stringing wire, right? And so we want to finish that off. Well, super easy, because we're just going to treat it like we would any other stringing project, right? It's just a friendship style bracelet, but it has adult hardware on it. We're going to slide on a crimp, right? Maybe if I can see. Got my crimp on there. Okay, fine. That crimp doesn't want to play with me today. I'm not sure. That crimp. Oh, look. See that crimp? That one's a dud. Did you see that? It's got a little piece of metal in the way. Do you see? So that crimp is not a good one. That happens now and then. This one is nice and hollow, though. All right, so we're going to slide on our crimp. And we are... Cindy says, where can you get those beads? In the kit, my dear, in the kit. Oh, thank you, Prudence, so much. All right, we're going to slide on our wire guardian. We're going to take the bead stringing wire back down. And then we're going to go through our Wanda. You are too funny. You're too funny. All right, sliding that on. Okay. Pull that down right up next to the knots. And then you're just going to crimp this, guys. You're just going to treat this just like any other project. You put that into the back section of your crimper tool, making sure your wires are not crisscrossing. You're going to give that a squeeze, right? You're going to turn it sideways, put it into the front notch of the crimper tool, and give that a squeeze. That's going to make it more compact. You can come in with your cutter and trim off. Now you're just going to add your jump rings, right? And your clasp. You're going to do that to this end, and then you're also going to do that to this end. Now, when you get to this end, however, you're going to have some of this knotting cord left over, and you're gonna be like, what am I gonna do with a knotting cord? Go ahead and crimp, right? Then when you're finished crimping, take your two pieces, and you can do two things. You can either do an overhanded knot and knot these up against the back of the bracelet and then add some glue and salt and cut them off. Or you can take them off to one side, right? Do another overhanded knot. This one being a knot that you're actually going to see off to the side of your bracelet here, right? And then you've got two metal beads left over. You can put those metal beads on here, sort of like the dangles on this one, right? Thread the beads on, tie a knot, and trim off, and you've got two little dangles. So it's up to you, right? In the picture of the listing for the kit, it has the dangles, but you absolutely can just tie this to the back, cut it off, add some glue, right? And you don't have any dangles at all. Now, I know that personally, if I were going to give this to a guy, whether I was going to give this to Q or if I were going to give this to my son, they wouldn't want the dangles. Just because guys are like, I don't know, sometimes they don't like dangles like women like the dangles. So if you're going to give it to a guy, maybe you might want to leave that part off, but you don't have to, right? I mean, it's just your bracelet. You can do whatever you want to with it, but that's what your bracelet is going to be. Again, if you want to see the finished piece, you're going to have to look at the Etsy listing because we just don't have time to do all of those knots. But you are going to just use your crimp and your wire guardian for your jump rings and your clasp. All of this is included in your kit, okay? So don't think you got to go looking for extra metal beads or jump rings. It's all there. Okay. Oh, thank you, Heather. All right. So there you go. All right. So in the same kind of feeling, if you will, I've got more jade. I've got yellow turquoise. I'm going to set this over to the side. Okay. And we're going to do some more pretty projects here with some more gemstones. Okay, I've got two pairs of earrings for you guys, and actually I've got three. I think I want to do those first. So if you loved the carved jade in that bracelet, I've got some really easy to put together carved jade earrings for you that I think are super cool. So check these out. These are so easy to put together, but the results are amazing. So they don't necessarily match the bracelet, but I mean, I'm not going to stop you from wearing them because they do have that green, right? So these are just those really large fish hook style earring or ear wires, right? They're like kidney wires, but kind of not, because they're kidney wires, but they're not leverback. That's kind of what I was trying to say. Words were just not coming to me very easily. But we're going to thread some beads onto those, and then we're going to hang one of these carved jade beads from them. Okay, super easy peasy. So let's do the carved jade part first. Let's take a head pin. We're going to thread on one of these check glass rondelles, little green rondelle, one of our carved jade beads, another one of the rondelles, and we're going to do two little seed beads. So I've got some bronze seed beads included in your kit. Okay, and you are going to do a wrapped loop. Now, if you want to do a simple loop, you can. I'm going to do a wrapped loop. So I'm going to grab the wire right where it is exiting the bead. I'm bending the wire over the top of the pliers. Okay, I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. We're going up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and then we are going to wrap in that space in between. Okay. Yay! Kathy says, thank you so much for the info for the videos for old purchases. Just found them. I'm so glad. I was really hoping that I explained it in a way that was going to make it easy to find, but you never know, because like, it's one thing to tell somebody, it's another thing to show them, I'm so glad. All right. So you're going to come in with your cutter tool and you are going to trim off, right? And if you need to tuck in your end, just do it very, very carefully because you don't want to crack the seed bead. I'm always worried I'm going to crack the seed beads or the crystals, particularly if it's like bicones, All right, so that part is ready to go. Now, we're going to go ahead and attach that to our earring just by kind of guiding it on, right? And then you want to squeeze your little loop together just to keep your once you put it on there to keep it from sliding off, right? Now it's time to kind of decorate the ear wire part. So we're going to thread on 2 seed beads. So there's 2 seed beads. We're going to thread on one of the check glass rondelles. We're going to do 2 more seed beads. Then we're going to thread on a magnesite bead. Okay, we're going to do 2 seed beads, another one of the rondelles, and 2 more seed beads. And you don't have to do anything to secure these, right? You just want to take them up and over, and then you just hook them, right? Now those beads are not going to come in contact with your ears at all. There's enough space, right, to put these on. And those beads are, number one, they're not going to fall off. And number two, they're not going to touch your ear. You still got plenty of room here. So those are the carved jade earrings. I love these. I really, really love these. I loved these so much that I saved all of this so that I have a pair of these too. So if you get a pair, we can be twins, right? I love these. Super, super cute. Now, I'm not saying that they match the bracelet, but I definitely would wear them with the bracelet. So do with that information as you will. What you will. All right, I'm going to set these to the side. Do what you will with that. All right, now I have 2 versions of earrings here. These are 2 different listings, but I'm showing these to you together for a really good reason. So let me show you. Okay, we've got these really cool hoop earrings with some new jade and yellow turquoise. Okay, this is the yellow turquoise, this is the jade, and these have some really cool hematite colored beads with them. I'm going to show you how to make this hoop earring, which is super easy and cool. However, some people don't want a hoop earring, but they still want that yellow turquoise and the jade. So I did another version of the earring with the same beads. This one's just more simple. So if you're looking for the same beads, right, but you just don't want a hoop earring, I also have a listing that has them just plain like this, where you still get the yellow turquoise and the jade, but it's more of just a simple style earring. So 2 different listings here, and I'm going to show you how to put these both together. We'll start with the hoop, okay, but same beads. All right, so we're going to, let's go ahead and get our wrapping done first. Let's take one of our yellow turquoise pieces. Look how beautiful those are. I love those. All right, we're going to take a metal bead, put on the top, and we're going to do a wrapped loop. Okay, chain nose pliers coming in, bending the wire over the top. We're coming in with our round nose pliers, up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side so that we can do the wraps. And we're going to wrap. Okay. And then we're just going to trim off. Oh, looks like I could get one more wrap in there. Let's go ahead and give it one more wrap. Okay. All right. We're going to come in with a cutter tool, trim off. Okay. And tuck in your end if you need to. Okay, so you've got your yellow turquoise ready. We're going to do the jade bead. Now the jade bead, we're just going to do a simple loop on it. Okay, so I'm going to thread it on, whoops, to a head pin. My head pin's a little crooked. Okay, and I'm just going to do a simple loop. So I'm going to bend this one over the top of the wire. Come in with my cutter tool. I'm going to leave myself about 1/4 of an inch of wire, trim that off. And then I'm going to use my round nose pliers. I'm going to grab that wire and roll back to create a simple loop. Okay, so that one's ready to go. Okay, now we're going to take our wire. Okay, now we're making the hoop earring. So we're going to do, I like to start in the middle, which is kind of weird, but I'm going to thread on the metal beads and then my wrapped loop, yellow turquoise piece, and a metal bead. So this is going to hang in the center. Okay. And then we're going to put 5 check glass fire polish rounds on either side. So there's into that wire. You see that little crook on the end of the wire? I'm just going to snip that off because I don't want to fight with that. Okay. So we're going to thread on 5 on this side. Okay, and I'm going to do one more metal bead. Okay, and then I'm just going to do the same thing over here on this side. So 5 of the check glass fire polish in that beautiful hematite color. Oh gosh. I have the dropsies today. You ever have days like that where just like everything you pick up, you drop? Keys, drink, beads, no matter what it is. I just have days like that sometimes. I'm not sure why. All right, so there are the beads. Okay, now we're going to take the wire, and I like to try to keep it so that I've got a longer section. That's this one, and a shorter section. But really, for this design in particular, you can really drop these to the middle. It really doesn't make that big of a difference. Okay, but what you're going to do is you're going to take the wires and you're going to crisscross them right at the top of the beads. Now listen, at first it's going to make this teardrop shape. If that's what you want, that's great. But you can shape this back out into a nice circle here in just a second. But you're going to crisscross those wires. One's going in front of the other one. The one that's going to the front, kind of put it to the back, and then take the other one and bend it straight up and down, right? So you're just kind of hooking it just like that, right? All right. Now you're going to come with that bottom wire that you're wrapping around, just kind of bring it to the front for a second. Okay, hold on to it. Top wire, let's go ahead and do a wraps loop with it. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my chain nose pliers, bending the wire. We're going up and over, rotate. Now I have to be kind of careful because there's a wire in the way, but I'm going to go ahead and do a wrapped loop. So do my wraps. Okay, come in with my cutter tool and trim that off. Then we're going to come back to this wire. This is a little trick that we actually did not too long ago. Let's go ahead and shape this up first. Let's make this an actual circle. Okay. All right, now we've got an actual hoop. Now you can leave this part out if you want, but I like to have the dangle in the middle. So I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to use my round nose pliers to grab that wire, right? And I'm just making a loop. Just like that. Do you see? I'm going to push it down with my thumb so that I've got a little hangy loop, okay? I'm going to take the rest of this wire and I'm going to wrap it up the wraps that are already there. So I'm just kind of wrapping over the wire wraps that I just made. Come in with my cutter, trim that off. Right, and now you've got a little place where you can hang your bead. Mine was not perfectly shaped, but that's okay, right? There's just a little teardrop spot, right? This one's a little bit shaped a little bit better. But now I have the ability, right, to hang my little dangle. So I can just open up that simple loop, hook that on, and close that back. Now we've only done this technique a few times, but it's a really good one. If you've got something that you want to hang, but you don't want to wire wrap across, you don't want to get crazy technical with things, that's a really easy way to make it so that you can hang something in the center. Put on our ear wire, and those are done, right? You've got super cute little hoops. Now, I realize not everybody likes a hoop earring, but somebody might love these beads, that yellow turquoise and the jade. It's a wonderfully beautiful combination. Okay, so if you don't like the hoop earrings, first and foremost, if you do, the kits are available over in the shop. But if you don't like a hoop, but you still want the beads, let's do just the simple one. Okay, so the simple one, it's going to go together easy peasy. We're going to take a head pin. We're going to thread on a bead cap. We're going to thread on our yellow turquoise. We're going to thread on another bead cap and a metal bead. And we're just going to do a wrapped loop. Okay, you can do a simple loop if you want to. You don't ever feel like you have to do a wrapped loop where I do one. Bending the wire over the top of the pliers, coming in with the round nose pliers. We're going up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and we're going to wire wrap. Oop. Okay, I'm going to come in with my cutter tool, trim that off, tuck in your end if you need to, all right? And then I'm going to take my eye pin. I'm going to go ahead and open up the eye just with a twist. I'm going to thread on the loop I just made, twist to close that back, and then I'm just going to put on the jade. And I'm going to do another wrapped loop and add my ear wire. So for those of you who think that the hoops are just a little too much, that might not be your style, but you do love those yellow turquoise beads, because I understand the yellow turquoise is probably what everybody likes the most about these. Then this kit is going to be better suited for you for sure. And if these earrings are even too long, you can definitely take these and turn these into 2 earrings, right? You could have a jade pair of earrings and a yellow turquoise pair of earrings. So you can actually get 2 pairs out of one kit if you wanted to, right? But these are both listed individually, same beads, just 2 totally different looks, right? Trying to make sure everybody has an option here. If you are in love with the yellow turquoise like I am, it's just so pretty. It's funny because yellow turquoise is more on the green side, right? But there you go. So 2 different pairs of earrings there, same beads, absolutely beautiful. Either one are absolutely gorgeous, right? All right. Oh, thank you, Arlene. Thank you so much. So much. All right, I got one more project for you guys. We're going to zip through it really quickly, and then I'm going to let you guys go for the day. Okay, so I'm going to sit these over here to the side. I've got one more beautiful gemstone thing for you guys today. So this is a super easy stringing project, but there is just a little bit of wire wrapping here in the beginning with a gorgeous serpentine bead. I've got green on the brain today. Can you tell? Like, I've got lots of green. There are beautiful English cut blue and green check glass rondelles, check glass rounds, just so pretty. Okay, so we're going to start out with the focal. So we're going to take a head pin that's included in your kit. We're going to thread on a bead cap. We're going to thread on a serpentine bead, and we're going to thread on another bead cap. We're going to drop that down. Okay. All right, we're going to take another bead cap, turn it the other direction to make like a little cup, and we're going to thread on a rondelle. Okay, we're going to thread on a spacer bead. And then we're going to thread on one of these tiny little Tara beads. And the Tara beads are in blue and green. Drop that down, and we're going to do a wrapped loop. Okay, and I'm going to do a wrapped loop that's kind of on the bigger side. So bending the wire over the top of the pliers, and then I'm going to use the back of my round nose pliers so I can get a nice big loop up and over. Rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and then I'm going to wrap, right? I need the loop to be nice and big because it's going to sit over the top of some beads. And we're going to string up a really pretty necklace right now. All right, so there's our focal, right? Beautiful. So pretty. Okay, so now super simple stringing here. We are going to get our bead stringing wire ready. So we've got some beautiful 19 strand blue bead stringing wire from Beadalon. And I'm going to thread on a crimp. Okay, I'm going to loop that bead stringing wire through a jump ring and then back down through my crimp. Oh, Heather says support Sara free. Go watch her at JTV at 4. Support our leader. Listen. Your support means absolutely everything to me. And when I read that, like, go support our leader, that makes me blush because I'm just like, y'all, who put me in charge? All right, I'm gonna make sure that the bead string wires. You got me tickled. That's funny. You're gonna make sure your bead string wire is not crisscrossing inside there, right? You're gonna give that a squeeze in the back notch. Turn that sideways, and you're gonna put that in the front notch, and you're gonna give it a squeeze. And then you're gonna come in with your gutter tool. I love you too. And you just got me. You got me with that one. Trim off the excess bead stringing wire. Okay, now we're ready to string our beautiful beads. And you quite literally can string these beads in whatever pattern you want to. But I'm going to show you how I put this together. And again, then you can use my inspiration, or you can put this together in your own way if you want. Okay. I normally start in the middle, but because we kind of have to crimp this one first to get going, we're going to start on the end. So just bear with me. I'm going to thread on one of the little Tara beads. Okay. And then I'm going to thread on 3 of the check glass. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I'm going to thread on another Tara bead. Okay, and I'm going to drop that down. Now I'm going to thread on 5 of the little baby green rondelles. Okay, I love these. They're so pretty. There's 1. Oh gosh. 2. 3. I'm trying to go fast. It seems like the faster I try to go, the more I mess up. So I'm not sure that that's necessarily the answer here. All right, so there's 5 of the little baby green rondelles. We're going to thread on another check glass. And then 5 more of the little rondelles. Let's use our wire like a needle. 2, much better. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now I'm going to thread on one of the Tara beads. For robot. Oh my. Okay, I'm going to thread on another check glass, and now I'm going to thread on 3 of those beautiful English cut check glass beads. Are those not gorgeous? Gosh, those are so pretty. Okay, check glass. One of the Tara beads. And now I'm going to thread on 3. So you can see the beads are getting a little bit bigger, right? Because we're coming to the center. I'm going to thread on 3 of the little green beads. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to thread on my pendant. Okay. Now the pendant is actually going to sit on top of those beads. Once we get everything together, it's going to sit on top of those beads. I don't want it to touch the bead stringing wire at all. So don't make it so that it sits like that, right? Don't do that. You want it to sit over the top of those beads. That's why that loop is so big. It's going to wiggle just a little bit, but only the length of those 3 beads. But that's going to keep that wire from touching the bead stringing wire. I don't want that to happen because I don't want that abrasion to happen. Over time, it will wear down the nylon coating that's on the outside of your bead stringing wire, and it will cause your bead stringing wire to start to fray. And over time, your necklace will break. So those beads are not only beautiful, but they're acting as a barrier between the wire from our wrapped loop and keeping it, protecting it from the bead stringing wire. Okay. All right. Now we're just going to repeat our pattern. So another Tara bead, and then a check glass, the 3 English cut. This necklace is gorgeous. And I'm telling you, the pictures made me so sad because it's been so cloudy and so gross around here. It's really hard to get good photographs when it's like that. So the pictures are just kind of dark and gloomy looking. And the truth is that even though this is in greens and blues, this is a very springy, beautiful brace or necklace. And it just didn't come across that way on camera. It just looks so So dark, right? And I was afraid, like, people are going to see this and not want it because it looks like a thunderstorm. It doesn't look like a thunderstorm. In person, it's a very, very springy, I promise. All right, so we're going to do 5 more of the little green rondelles. Okay. And another check glass. 5 more of the rondelles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. I lost more than 1. 4 and 5. Okay, drop those down. And then we're going to thread on the last of our beads. So we've got a Tara bead, 3 check, and then another Tara bead. Oh, thank you, Wanda. Wanda says the different sizes and the marble look of these beads are such a great combo. I agree. This necklace is all about the texture and the pops of that green that is in those beautiful English cut and the check glass. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it. Something about that blue-green combo that really has been speaking to me. All right, so we're just going to crimp the other end. Oh, thank you, Vondell. You guys are so, so sweet. All right, so the crimp goes on. Bead string wire loops around the jump ring. If you've got a wire guardian at home, go ahead and use the wire guardian if you want to. Okay, we're going to bring all that down. And we're going to crimp. Okay, back notch to the crimper tool, give that a squeeze. Turn it sideways, put it in the front notch, and give it another squeeze. Whoops. Seem to get in there. And then you're going to come in with your cutter tool and trim off. Now, included in your kit is a really long piece of chain. You can make this necklace any length you want it to be with the chain. So if you need to make it shorter, feel free to do so. If you want to make it longer, use every bit of the chain that is included, okay? So you can really adjust the size. So you're going to take those jump rings and you just want to open the jump ring and thread on your chain. Now your chain piece, you're going to have to cut it in half. You're going to add your hardware to the back of it, but to save time, of course, I'm just using it as a single piece. I don't want to pre-cut somebody else's piece of chain. So, okay. And then you've got a beautiful necklace, y'all. It's so pretty, really, really pretty. And if you wanted to change out the chain for like a beautiful piece of ribbon, or a piece of leather or some other kind of cord or bead the rest of it, you absolutely could. But so pretty, really, really pretty. The serpentine bead is what's got me. Like, I love serpentine every day, all day. It doesn't matter the shape, the size, makes no difference. But it was paired so beautifully with those English cut. I love those. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to turn you around. We're going to go back through everything, and then I'm going to let you guys go because we are a little bit over our time limit today, and I hate to keep you guys longer than I should, right? I don't like to keep you here unnecessarily long. So I'm going to show you the necklace first. Grab the bust here. I'm going to show you how pretty this looks. And again, you can adjust the size. I'm holding all that chain back here. But look how pretty. It really is just a beautiful spring green. That's what I think is so springy about this one. Just a really, really pretty green and blue. Love. You can't go wrong with navy either. That navy blue is going to go with absolutely everything. For me, navy blue seems like kind of like a neutral. Are you like that? And I think that it's because we grew up wearing our blue jeans with everything. Like, so navy goes with everything. I don't know. That's my thoughts behind it. I could be completely wrong. Fashion police are going to come after me. That's for sure. I wear my sparkle to the grocery store. All right. We've got the carved jade earrings. I loved these. I thought these were so cool. Right? Love. These are like boho chic. So cool. So cool. And those pops of green. I've got blue and green going today. Love. Those are super, super cute. Really easy to put together. Right? Let's see. We had our other beautiful earrings. So we had our yellow turquoise, which seems kind of Oh, I cut my finger. I was like, what is that? I have a problem there. Sorry. I apologize. I did not realize that I cut myself. Um, these turquoise, the yellow turquoise and the jade earrings, those are so cool because they have sparkle to them, but it's not like over the top sparkle. And it's all about those hematite colored check glass. So pretty. So pretty. Love that with that pop of green. Those are super cool. But now listen, if hoops are not your thing, that's okay. Because I took the exact same beads and just put them together in like just a straight style because it's more simplistic, but you still get those gorgeous yellow turquoise and jade beads. So I made sure everybody had something to choose from, right, for these, just because I wanted to be sure that I could share those yellow turquoise beads because they're amazing. All right, then we had our 2 bracelets. So this one, obviously, we did not finish, but it had the beautiful carved jade and our knotted cord. We've got that black belon over some bead stringing wire, so you're going to add your hardware to that. But this is the center, is those 2 smaller jade beads, and we have the carved jade, right? This is going to be a great bracelet for guys or girls. Love that one. Super cool. Super cool. And then last but not least was a restock of a project that we had done a while back, and I was able to restock this one. Look at the colors. They're so pretty. There's those blue frosted flowers with the macrame. So it's that beautiful blue. I've got blue going on. Right? The blue and the metallics in the center. This one up here is my favorite. Oh, look at that metallic green blue. So pretty. Just a nice, really pretty spring design. Macrame. It's lightweight. You guys know I love knotted things when the weather turns. It's cloudy and gross, but it's been 83 degrees for the past 2 days. Like, check the calendar, people. It's April. I'm not ready for 83 degrees. But because it is 83 degrees, I need my jewelry to be like lightweight. I need like cord, soft cords, leathers, things like that that don't weigh a ton. Lots of chain sometimes to me is just too much. Says the girl who only wears 2 chain necklaces. Like, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I never wear a whole lot of jewelry, which is really silly considering that I'm obsessed with jewelry, right? That's my job. I don't know. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me and letting me be a part of your Friday. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for all of your purchases over in my Etsy shop. Don't forget, you can always come back and watch this on replay once you get your kit in the mail shipped to you, right? If you need to see how to put it back together, if you forget, or if you just need some inspiration, right? Don't forget to set your reminders for 4 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon for Master Maker. Master Maker happens every Friday at 4 p.m. That is on JTV Extra. My team will be posting links so that you can get there easy peasy. I will try to remember to send out a text message with the link in it too, so that, you know, I can be as helpful as possible because I want to get you guys there, right? Even if you don't buy anything, just come and hang out and see the inspiration, right? Hang out for the projects. It means everything to me to see all of the familiar faces in the chat. It really kind of calms my nerves and helps me settle down. So it's like you guys come to hold my hand. Thank you, Anne. Thank you so much. Right. So come hold my hand at 4 p.m. Okay. Otherwise, if I don't see you later, have an amazing holiday weekend. And for those of you who are not celebrating a holiday this weekend, just celebrate that it's the weekend, right? It's all good. I love you guys so much. So I'll see some of you later. I will see the rest of you next week at 1 p.m. on Tuesday with another fun project. I've got lampwork beads from Sam. So I don't know why that made me dance, but it did. All right. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.